I was asthmatic, seriously asthmatic. Was in and out of hospitals, asthma a lot, oxygen tents and IVs and stuff like that. I was also given to ailments. I was 5 years old on Christmas Day and had a burst appendix, and they got me to the hospital, pulled my chestnuts out of the fire, and that was touch and go for a while. And then when I was 9, I fell against some bleachers on a sharp edge and ruptured my spleen. And they couldn't diagnose that for about 4 days, so I bled internally for that for 4 days. And when it did surface with me vomiting up blood and all, and they rushed to the hospital and got that taken care of. But I was normally hyperkinetic, fairly frail, given to accidents kind of guy.
How would you describe your upbringing, your mother and father and family?
Oh, idyllic. It was idyllic. Couldn't ask for anything better. It was just a close-knit family. Grew up in a small town, first 12 years, you know, raised by a village. 7 kids in my family. We had to run in a small town. You know, 8 years old on, I had my first rifle. Go hunting and fishing every day after school, or during the summer fishing every day. You know, we all had household chores, had a garden to take care of, hoeing to do, but normally Mom kicked us out the door on Saturday morning at 8 o'clock, or as early as she'd get rid of us, and we were expected back home at dark. You know, don't hurt yourself.
Why did you become a Marine?
I think I've got a line in my book that says I was a 19-year-old white, socially, psychologically, and sexually frustrated male. You know, you want to kill people like that. And when you're that way, you just, you know, everything can get better than this for a while I live. I've always been a nationalist and a patriot, but I just didn't understand the responsibilities and the education to be the proper kind of a nationalist and patriot. So yeah, I was willing to accept the government's line, hook, line, and sinker that I was saving freedom in the world by going over and either killing a lot of folks who stood in our way or being killed by them. So, you know, I guess I had a death wish. Probably still do. You know, you can't give that up. It makes you weak.
How did your views on the war change in your youth?
Well, I got back off Paris Island after 5 weeks, had attack of asthma there, got discharged, and things were just starting to light up as far as campus unrest goes. So, you know, a couple of years later, well, after 68, I did some LSD and began to see the world in a different light. And had folks coming back, the veterans coming back, telling me what the situation was. And so then I saw Nixon bomb Cambodia, and saw we were in a no-win situation. Did not feel right about putting our troops in harm's way under a no-win situation. And so became convinced that this particular war was wrong.
What was your family life like with your first wife and kids? What were those early experiences like?
Well, it was great. It was great. I mean, I married a very beautiful and intelligent and strong-willed woman. You know, we had our differences, but you know, it was just great. I liked being married. But my politics, I was married to my politics too, and you know, she wanted me to concentrate on making money for the family, and here I was concentrating on making money for the family and politics. So eventually we just decided that we'd part on amicable terms, which we did. We've been best friends ever since. We have 3 daughters, gorgeous daughters. They all graduated from high school at 16. They all made the dean's list. My oldest one is married now, living in New Zealand. She's got a master's in women's studies. My middle one, dual graduate, got a couple of degrees out in the UK, going to be going to law school. My youngest one, just 22, just finished her accelerated master's program. You know, speaks fluent German, and you know, dean's list, and all of them are beautiful young ladies. So, You know, I bonded with them very early at an early age. I changed more diapers on them than my wife did, and we just have always been bonded, and been very blessed as a dad.